And welcome to AI, the cool stuff for February the 21st, 2025. So welcome. We're going to discuss a few things that maybe I've got written down and what other people maybe want to talk about as well during this meeting. And but first of all, as this is a business network, technically a business network meeting, we shall just go around the room and introduce ourselves and answer a question. If you if I could automate something for you now, what would it be? Have you got a tiresome task that you do? And you think, God, if there was a program that could do that for me, I'd be over the moon. Um, it doesn't include washing up, ironing, those sort of things. We're not talking about Robbie the robot here. We're talking about that would be nice as well. I mean, I've seen humans. Is it Humans? The Channel 4 one that was
Oh, I saw that. That was very good.
yeah, yeah. So okay. Shelley, you were first here. Tell us about you and your dream AI automated function.
Wow. My dream AI automated function would be one that can give me my bath, do the bath for me. Um, in terms of what I do, I'm a medic who helps people to live healthier for longer by giving their body back its ability to detect what's wrong and repair it. So that I'll leave it at that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Steffi?
Yeah, I was next. Stephanie Lewis, 32-year veteran web developer, founder and creator of Your PCM, easy contact management, small business owners. It's pretty much, I mean, I use AI all day, every day. In fact, I'm working on a new micro SaaS that uses AI at its heart. Um, what would I automate? I think the business side of my business, looking after all the accounts and I mean, I don't send invoices, that's all automated. I mean, I'm pretty much automated already, but progressing to a fully automated business would be quite an interesting task, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, one that involved you not being here at all.
Well, there is that. I mean, I'm pretty close because I've got Amy on board to do all my support, and she is answering 80% of my support requests,
Yeah.
quite sensibly because I coded all my knowledge into her. So that saved me a huge amount of time. It really
Mm,
has. Everything else, it's like doing all my social media and stuff. Like I literally click a few buttons and it's done.
mm.
So I'm pretty much there.
Yeah, yeah.
But maybe an avatar me with all my personality can be working.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I should be an avatar cat. I don't know.
Ah.
That's good, yeah. Okay, Shirley.
Hey, I'm still thinking about what I'd like to automate. Hello, I'm Shirley. I work in health and wellness, and I like to make people look good and feel good about themselves. Um, I'm still thinking and getting my head around AI, even though I've been coming to this ever since you started it. AI for me is still a little bit scary. I use step platform, and I still can't get my head around the blogging bit, but I'm trying. Not really sure what I would automate because I do very little at the moment. Being honest.
You're a lady of leisure. Good. Okay, thanks, Shirley. Jane.
Hi, that's brilliant, Shirley. So, Jane Chakraborty, the company's in Victor Linux, and we provide IT solutions for small and medium-sized businesses with a strong focus on privacy and security. So we deal with Linux and open source solutions in the main. I don't think there's anything I don't want to automate, actually. I mean, when I think of the, mon- the chore of doing the accounts, for instance, and also if you had something, so we do renewals here, lots of license renewals. So we've got a data. Obviously, it tells us when they're due. And if I could have some kind of, and it's almost here, it's something called Eloquence, which is an AI email. It could actually find out when they're due, find the correct quote, give the quote some kind of validity, cutoff point, and make sure that ties in with any price rises from the vendor. Get a quick email out to the client, way before it. It have to obviously reflect, I guess, my character of writing and so forth. And also exercise bot and a medicine bot. It would be brilliant if something could do all the exercise for me and I benefit. I'm sure that it's not far away. Anyway,
Yeah.
just about
Yeah.
everything really.
Yeah.
Cooking, what a nightmare. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I think that last one's a bit of a stretch. No, not the cooking, the doing the exercise might be a
I
bit.
know, yeah, I'm just trying to work out how that I can't
me,
see a way at the moment, but
Yeah,
You'd have to have like an Iron Man suit that you got into and
yes,
that's right.
it would
You're in
make
there,
you run.
that'd be brilliant though, wouldn't it? I mean,
and
yeah,
you're in
I
there
really could do.
watching, and you're in there watching the Orville, and the thing's just
Yes,
Yeah,
moving you
and
around.
you're just running down the road at like 30 miles an hour.
I
that's my
think you'd be
kind of.
exhausted at the end of that one.
Oh, you could die of a heart attack halfway round, and you wouldn't know.
Still going.
No one would know till they got you out your suit at the other end.
The suit would
Pushed it
reject
too
you
far.
at your front door, wouldn't it?
So,
Oh,
Dave,
dear.
Dave the Mountaineer.
So my business is about career coaching. I take people on a journey from the place where they're stuck in their career, they don't know what to do next, and they're unhappy, to a place where they know how to get a job that's right for them, that they really love doing, and that supports the lifestyle they want. What would I automate though? I like Jane. I like your exercise one, Jane, because like if I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go running, wouldn't it be great to get up at 7 o'clock and think I've already done the run? That would be amazing.
Perfect.
I don't think it works like that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't, does it? I think, something that.
Imagine you could get in your Iron Man suit when you're half asleep. Just go for a run, and then when you get back, you could have your coffee and just do that.
It's a bit like the wrong trousers, isn't it? Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Dave.
For business, I would like something that would automate the marketing, but particularly something that could just go and nurture my network and my former clients, and make them feel like I'm in touch with them regularly, and
Make them believe you can.
yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, excellent. Andy.
I have one, yeah. My work involves helping people get more from their websites. In terms of what I would automate, I think I'd like something that tied into LinkedIn, so it picks up on people's posts, comments, etc., on things that I want to find out about, SEO, web development, whatever it is, limits it by certain parts of the world, and pulls all those things people have talked about into one feed that I could just scan through and click on a link to decide which answer I want to respond to, all in one hit.
Yeah.
The difficulty is LinkedIn tie their system up so tightly that you can't get in.
Yeah, if you look at more than 20 pages or something, you end up in LinkedIn jail, don't
you? Even the APIs are a nightmare to get access to. I tried linking your BCM to it, and they weren't having any of it.
No, there's some lovely stuff you could interact with on there, but who's got the time to sit there and look for it all?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy. I'm a WordPress guy, and I create websites and I host websites. I create content for websites, but I think one thing I hate doing is social media. So it would be nice generally if that was automated properly, because I know there are ways of generating your social media, but it always looks. I always think, oh, I wouldn't post that, or is it better to post that rather than nothing? So I mean, it's and the other thing would be you can generate a website really quickly. We've done it a couple of times on here, but a sort of WordPress site, but updating it is really tiresome. Can take you all day long. Be nice if there was like a text, or just I can just talk to my computer and just give it a general idea of what I wanted, and it just goes away and change the design elements without me actually having to do it. Just have like an interface that I can talk to, goes away, does it, comes back and says, hey, what do you think of that? I think that would be nice, but that's probably that will come, I suppose. So good, excellent. So that's there. So yesterday we were talking about quantum computing because I know you. I'll try and Shirley. I'll try and say it so that like all the laptops today, and the phone and AI like ChatGPT all use bits, which is a 0 or a 1. So when I started senior school, we had a computer that was bought in the 1960s, and it had a bit massive bank of ferrite cores. And when the current went through one way, it was magnetized, and when it came back the other way, it was demagnetized. And if it was magnetized, it was a 1, and if it was demagnetized, it was a 0. And
How
that
was your friend Charles Babbage?
yeah, he was, yeah. Charles Babbage, yeah. It was actually a UNIVAC, but it was
Yeah, I remember you that.
I remember the 3D cores.
yeah. So then, obviously people discovered or created the silicon chip, and now all that all goes in there. But they all basically work on zeros and ones. And with quantum computing, they have something called a qubit, which can be a 0, it can be a 1, it can be both at the same time, and it can be anything in between. And they can talk to each other. And so Microsoft have been working on a brand new supercomputer for 17 years. And it's and they brought out this Majorana 1 chip. I keep saying marijuana. It's a Majorana 1 chip. Either that or it's a figment of someone's imagination. And right now they've managed to fit 8 qubits onto a single chip. And think of qubit, like I said, like a tiny powered light switch that can be switched on or off or both at the same time. And it makes them incredible. The upshot is it makes them incredibly powerful in performing complex problems. Now they need to upgrade that from 8 to 1,000,000 qubits on a chip, and they say they can do it, and they say they can do it by the end of the decade, which is going to make a massive difference. It's going to be a huge revolution, probably the like of which we haven't seen yet, because it'll revolutionize medicine and science and anything else, designing life-saving drugs or design materials that could make batteries last 100 times longer. And there are kind of a lot of theoretical things that it could change the world. They've got this thing called the analogy I saw was like Where's Wally? A regular computer would, don't know, we all know the children's books Where's Wally? I used to go through them with my kids, and it's a computer would look at every person on that page and pick out Wally, and it would probably do it pretty quick. With quantum computer, it would look at every page in the book simultaneously and just pick it out instantly without having to look, so it's kind of a sort of no matter where he is. And this thing that I have trouble getting my head around, which is entanglement or quantum entanglement, where data can be passed instantly to another qubit. One qubit can pass its data to another qubit, no matter where it is. So imagine you've got one person in New York and one person in London, and they keep throwing the dice, and it always lands on the same number. And well, they say a twin dice always land on the same number, even if it was one on Earth and the other one was on Mars. So it doesn't matter where they are. It'll because of quantum entanglement. Is kind of
mind-blowing, isn't it? Yeah, totally.
Einstein called it spooky action at a distance.
Yeah. But that whole business of quantum entanglement, they've looked at it with DNA, where they've taken DNA from the same person, and one set of DNA was in a lab in the US and another set was in a lab here in the UK. And they directed energy towards one, right? And that was supposed to give a specific result. And so they did that to the one in the US, and the one in the UK responded at the same time as well. So they've been doing it in science and in different things.
Yeah, Oxford
This whole
University was
continental
doing.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
It's interesting.
It wouldn't surprise me if there's a quantum effect in the brain, especially, you know, with the speed of and stuff like that.
Yeah, they did this thing with mice, again in New York and London, where they taught a mouse a new trick, and through once they taught that mouse a new trick, a mouse was in exactly the same circumstances, you know, learned that trick about 10 times quicker than the mouse learned it. The first mouse, once mouse has learned it, every mouse in the world can learn that same trick in the same circumstances, which is mind blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on there, you know? I mean,
it's that same 100 monkey thing, isn't it? Where the monkeys learn to wash the potatoes or something like that. And then all the monkeys around the world were washing their potatoes.
that's
It's
right.
the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's fascinating. I
But
mean,
what it
no
does is
idea
it
how that
shows how connected we are, isn't it? How connected everything is.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, okay, so the mind-blowing facts that they've given is a quantum computer the size of a sugar cube could, in theory, surpass the combined computing power of every supercomputer on Earth today. So,
Extraordinary, isn't it?
so it's quite,
So it's going to actually play havoc with our security, because it's
yes,
making two-factor authentication completely useless. So, I
that's
mean, they're
it.
going to have to do something, but I think they are working on that. There's a brilliant YouTube of video by Dr. Hannah Fry talking about quantum computing, and it's it should have, you know, it breaks it down and it's quite digestible.
Yeah, because no code would be uncrackable by a quantum computer instantly. You know, like all these things that would take 10 million years on your phone or something. It's going to take it like a millionth of a second, you know.
Well, I can see it. I can see an upgrade coming, because we've got the TPM security chips at the moment in laptops. So if you end up with a quantum security chip, that would be used to generate a random quantum state to use for instead of SSL certificates, I guess.
Yeah, there must be ways around it, I guess.
Do we know how much impact these chips will have energy-wise, their usage?
Yes, I was just going to come to that actually as well. Yeah, because
enormous.
That is a fascinating point. That is a massive point actually as well, because it's the thing that occurred to me as well, because we've seen Trump going on about creating massive energy supply because AI particularly. We can do I'll just say, like Grok have just XAI have just brought out their new version, and they've opened up this colossus data center in America. I think it's in Atlanta. It was originally launched in July with 100,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs, and it's been expanded to 200,000 by last week, and they're going to extend it to 1 million NVIDIA GPUs in the next year. And and they spent 5 to 6 billion on GPUs, 3 to 5 billion on cooling and upgrades and other infrastructure. And by the time they've got the million in there, it's going to be 30 billion pounds of investment in one data center to run the Grok AI, and they spent between 8 and 11 billion at the moment. So
that's going to pump out some serious heat.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, a lot of that is going into cooling, and it's going to be, you know, obviously with quantum computing, it's going to be a drastically reduced physical footprint. You know, even if I know we were talking yesterday that they're getting close to getting it to room temperature, but at the moment it's got to be like sub-zero temperatures the processors have to be kept at. So but even if you take that into account, because they're so small, you've got massive energy savings, and obviously the speed gains. and
I mean, even modern
elimination of
computers.
data. I mean, elimination of data centers essentially, because if you've got everything down to a sugar cube, you've got to keep it somewhere, I suppose. But
Even modern computers are optimal at cooler temperatures.
yeah, yeah,
You know, that's the thing. I mean, my laptop in the summer, I have to actually have a fan on it
yeah.
because I've got an RTX 1060 that if I'm using it heavily, it gets hot. And actually,
Mhm.
the plastic is really hot. So, and I notice the effect on Windows and things like Zoom starts stuttering and stuff as the GPU
Mm.
Part
not
of the idea
overheats,
of
but gets hot, you know.
If we picture a world without Trump, X amount of years in the future, or any loonies that are going to go down the same self-destruction path. I'm not like a mad eco person, just thinking ahead a little bit.
mm,
Could we get to the point where each of us as individuals are expected to do this effectively offsetting the energy we use in some other way, whether we pay for that or do something to offset it, because the world actually realizes there is a big issue in all this stuff. Could that come in the future? Well, we're going well ahead in time. We could all be dead by then, but
mm.
you know,
But
Oh,
then if you
we
had,
just need energy suppliers who do things like, you know, tree planting and stuff.
Mm.
I mean, it's
yeah,
easy to do. I've got tree planting built into my platform. I use Tree Nation. So every time we get to a certain counter of views, they go and plant a tree for me.
yeah, I have. I mean, my web people do that as part of my package. But the ironic thing is, I'm probably hammering a hell of a lot more of that than with the AI I'm using.
mm,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
I mean,
difficult, isn't it?
a quantum computer would be able to work out, like I say, how to get 100 times more energy out of a battery, or you know,
Yeah, yeah.
there are ways. Technology will do the win, you know. I mean, this thing with Trump, part of the reason he wants to invade Greenland is to is because you can put your computers there and they're nice and cool. You know, you just open up the roof rather than paying for energy
Mm.
to do the thing, because it's what they do at Iceland in what they do in Iceland at the moment. But Greenland's got even more potential for keeping data centers and
I've never seen that in my local Iceland.
no, that's right. Yeah,
Mm.
no.
So I have a question. So is it that the quantum computing is going to be needing more energy? Is that what you're
No.
saying, or less energy?
No, much less. I mean, each
Much
individual
less.
chip needs more energy, but because it's so much smaller, it would need less. You wouldn't need a big data center. You could have, in theory, something the size of your front room.
Mm.
With, I mean, if it's got to be kept at sub-zero, but you're only keeping like a sugar cube at sub-zero, you're not keeping. You don't have to keep the whole room at minus
Mm.
20 or something. You know, just the little bit around that, which would probably be. But they could
Mm.
probably do it now. Things like that.
So you will have now to build special devices to do that, then I guess.
No, because I mean they've got water-cooled chips now and things, you know. So
Mm.
it will actually.
Please.
Obviously, it's kind of almost like science fiction at the moment, but but with Microsoft saying they would do it by the end of the decade, that they must have some basis of saying that, you know,
Mm.
Mm.
and even if it took them 10 years, it's going to be.
Mm.
It's,
I'm not so sure I'm convinced though.
no, I mean it's obviously it's but they've invested a lot of money in it, so they they must think it's going to work.
Mm.
You know, it's been and it's you know the like all the computer data center, the thing that's going to be taken up if we carry on how we are, it's the thing that's going to be taking up the most energy. You know, because like a million computer chips all running in the same building is obviously going to be several gigawatts, and they're talking about terawatts by the time they get down into cooling these things down. So it's that's
I can't wait for quantum computing to figure out how to do cold fusion properly.
mm,
You know, can you imagine the changes to our world when we've got unlimited energy?
yeah, because that's what
It's
we need.
amazing.
That's what
Yeah,
we need for progress is going to be lots of energy, cheap energy, and lots of it. You know, because
yeah,
it's the thing that will solve immigration crisis, because everywhere in the world would be more would
They've
be
got the
richer as
energy,
they
they've
got,
got,
they
yeah.
can create whatever they like,
Mm.
So it's
Well, they already have the blueprint for the unlimited energy, don't they? It's in Tesla's files that the FBI or whoever is have.
yeah.
You know, when Tesla died, they went and they took all of his work. So apparently his blueprint for a free energy
Oh, you
where
mean
you didn't have to pay for it
you
was
mean
in among
Nikolai
that.
Tesla, not Tesla as in Elon Musk.
No,
No.
not Elon Musk, the real Tesla.
Nikolai.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Nikola
But
Tesla.
that's the thing, you see, because I mean, quantum computing won't be done for the benefit of mankind. It'll be done for the benefit of Microsoft or Apple or something. So somebody will have to profit out of it. This is I'm quoting the Orville now, and and that's when and to make real progress, people are going to have to be unless you're going to get a small number of companies become super, super, super rich, and everyone else is just servicing those companies.
Well, that's all well and good, but I think you'll find an inventor fettling in his shed will invent something amazing and then put it out sort of open source.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There will always be
Well,
open source alternatives. Jane knows,
yeah.
There is a company now called QBT, and they've got this quantum on a chip already doing it. They're just not very well known, but they're aiming it specifically at the blockchain side of things. So it's basically to get more of the crypto, mine more crypto faster by these things.
Yeah.
Big
But
profit.
that's their specific angle for it. But they reckon they're going to take that down by 30%.
Yeah.
That would be good because crypto mining uses a lot of energy and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the more Bitcoin that are out there, the lower the value of it. So, it's stupid money at the moment, but if you can get more of them, it'll bring it down, won't it? Didn't we hear rightly there's only a certain number of Bitcoins?
Yeah, they reckon it's all going to be mined by 2032, something like that, they reckon.
And then no more Bitcoin.
But I don't understand that. Excuse my simple mind, right? But aren't they where they're mining it from? Aren't they creating it? So, it is not like a resource in the earth crust or something, is it?
No.
It's something that's created in a computer system.
Well, they make it out thinner.
Yeah, well,
digital.
Every transaction that happens.
Yeah, they're not creating a physical Bitcoin. It's just something, out in the ether.
Right. So they can't keep creating more.
Because every time you do a Bitcoin transaction, it takes is it two or more people have to verify sort of data centers have to verify your transaction. So and then once you verify a transaction, you get a tiny percentage of that transaction added to your total that you've got. So it's like that's what being mined is, as I understand it. So if you've got a bigger computer because these are randomly assigned, these checks on whether your Bitcoin is valid or not, because they're randomly assigned, the bigger computer power you got, the more of these randoms you're going to get. So it's a little bit beyond. I've never really been that interested in virtual currency, but it's kind of that's how I understand it.
We've had a couple of clients asking whether they can pay through crypto. We don't have a crypto account. I'm just wondering whether it'll come in,
Yeah, because the government want to know.
Mate. Crypto only, mate. What, for onions?
That's right. How much of a Bitcoin is that? Trouble is, it's so variable. But by the time you got home, you find out you've paid £500 for 2 onions.
Yeah.
or you've gone for nearly now.
Quite volatile, isn't it?
Many years ago, a friend of mine was encouraging me to invest in it, and it was about 30 quid a go at that point. And it's like, I thought, no, that sounds like a lot of money. Oh, God.
And 6 months later.
And guess who didn't listen to them? Oh
Some guy
dear.
had his computer in the bottom of a dump somewhere, and he's got
Oh,
like
yeah.
millions
Oh,
and
yeah,
billions
that
of
guy.
pounds.
Yeah.
He's going for a legal case to buy the dump, isn't he? Because they're
Yeah.
shutting it down and he wants to buy it, and they're getting in his way and saying he can't.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
hundreds of millions or something
But
stupid.
it's even offered the council like a massive cut of the money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they still
It-
say
it-
no.
it- there was another one as well. I think it was one of the directors of the Wired magazine. I don't know if anybody sees it, but he'd lost his password. He couldn't get into it. Nothing could be done. So he actually had to get hackers to help him and find. I mean, he tried it, but he did get into it eventually. But it was really touch and go, and it was millions.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It would incentivize you, wouldn't it?
Mm. Oh yeah.
The chances of finding one hard drive in an entire landfill is,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I think he's just clutching at straws.
Yeah,
because
and I don't think they
yeah,
map out where this dustbin lorry went in that
mm,
sector
yeah.
on this day. They just go there and
yeah.
dump it where there's a space, you know.
Mm.
And then big
And
diggers come
mm,
along and I mean it might have been
mm.
crushed when under the wheel of a
Yeah,
caterpillar sort of.
yeah. Is it going to
Yeah,
be any condition for him to recover it?
and the
That-
magnetism could have degraded by now. You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't. There's no way
Yeah.
he's getting that
What's
back.
it? Yeah,
probably not. It's probably underneath all the plastic stuff they're not supposed to put in landfill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want him digging it up because there's stuff in there they don't want anyone knowing about.
Yeah. Few
Yeah.
bodies.
Bodies. Yeah. Well, you never know. They might stick a landfill in rather than putting them in the ground.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So Grok is the new version. Is the new kid on the Grok 3 is the new kid on the block with AI. And under test conditions, it's supposedly done. We've seen it all before, where under test conditions, it does better than all the others. Then all the others bring out their version that are all better than everyone else's. But the Grok 3 has done 10 more times more training than Grok 2. It features real-time web access. But ChatGPT does that as well now. It can handle text, images, and generate visuals, including videos, and claims to outperform all current AI models. It's supposed to have increased reasoning capabilities. Text to video conversion sounds interesting, and I've never tried it. It does deep search, which is enable you to do deep, in-depth research and do comprehensive reports. And it hasn't got voice interaction, but it's coming out very soon, in the next weeks or days. Originally, they were only going to make it available to Premium Plus subscribers, but and it was released on the 17th, but yesterday they've made it free for everyone as a limited time offer. So if you go to x.com, there's a Grok menu item on the left, and you can try it out. And he said that they're going to keep it free until their servers melt. So I don't,
So you say
Hey.
X.com. This one is by Elon Musk.
right now, if you just go to if you just log into x.com, on the left hand side there's a menu items, and there's one of them's just Grok. Before it was just subscribers. So hang on, I'll just share my screen. I haven't tried it yet because it only became free. I did try it for a month once on there, which is actually Keith Grover was on yesterday, and he made a good point about LinkedIn, which was you can just dip in and dip out. Like if you want the premium version, just select a month where you're going to do a lot of LinkedIn work and a lot of research, and just subscribe, take their free month because they're giving 3 months away. Just take their free month, focus on it for that month, cancel it, and then you can dip out of it again. Then if you need it again in another 6 months, just pay for that 1 month. Don't subscribe forever because it's pointless. And you can do the same with a lot of things really, with video generation or other things. You can just dip in and out of them.
Oh, I don't have an X account.
So here on the left hand side is Grok. So I'm going to ask it to create an image. So I don't know what I've never done it. Create an image of a steampunk cafe with ladies dressed in
Pretty ladies.
low cut,
Oh, pushing it.
tight fitting, Victorian
Now you spoiled it.
dresses. Okay.
Drinking lattes.
Drinking
I don't have an option of Grok on my X.
latte.
Weird.
Oh, okay. Perhaps it's not. So let's.
Do you have to actually sign up for it? Because I just logged into X and it just goes straight in and gives you
Yeah.
access to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So X, you can only access it via an X account.
I think it's on the right-hand side, actually. It says it's got a Grok 3, try for free. So I've just clicked it. Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Very nice breasts. It's no getting away from it, is it?
They look real. The
cup
women
tipped up.
look real.
You know, and I could be a bit more specific with
That's a bit more acceptable.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's certainly deflated a bit. My goodness.
Yeah. You know,
I'd be
how many of those lattes you get to the pound? I don't know. So yeah. So that's not bad actually.
It's not very steampunk though, is it? It's Victorian.
No, it's not. It's not.
Why don't you just say make it more steampunk?
Yeah.
No, you do. I think you can just say make it more steampunk.
Okay. It was pretty quick at the generation actually, which was quite good. So it's so are they gonna? They're not going to be wearing hats with goggles, are they? Obviously.
It's better. Look at the background now. It's got lots of cogs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I think what's so good about it is that you can just create the things based on real people. So I've just stuck one in chat because I thought it'd be amusing for me.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's
I'm very surprised they allowed that to go through.
I could have done it worse, but yeah. But then it gives you suggestions, doesn't it? So it says I could change it to dancing under fireworks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's probably worth. Let me just have a look at the chat.
That is incredibly
that's right. I mean, Grok has got no filter as such.
No.
It will allow you to create real people. Yeah. So it's.
Can you upload your own photos to it and get it to work with those, like you've got with your background there, David?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it may do. I'd have to play with it because they only made it free to everyone yesterday, so it's pretty early days. Apart from Jane, they ate Jane, so they haven't given it to Jane. But everybody else can get it for now.
Actually, I've got it. It's try it for free, Grok.
All right, okay. Yeah.
So I'll have a play.
You can only get it via X. You can't get it on its own.
There is a Grok website, but if you want it for free and try it out, then you got to go to x.com. And it was always the cheapest way. I mean, it was when they had the last version, it was £8 a month. So it was cheaper than ChatGPT or and I haven't tried. I know I saw a YouTube video and someone was trying out logic problems and it didn't do very well. It was like if I had a 25-foot rope and I'm 6'2" tall and I've got how do I measure a 40-foot building or something like that with there? And it basically said just throw the rope up from the ground, then climb up the rope. I don't know if it was the Indian rope trick or something. And then it said, no, it's not possible. We've got a thing called gravity, and the rope's not going to stay up there on its own. So then it said, go to the top, height at the top, climb down the rope, and then it said, hang from the bottom of the rope, and then estimate the amount from your foot to the ground. Apparently, there is a proper answer, but he said that then sort of visually estimate the rest of it. So obviously that was wrong as well. So apparently Gemini got it right, and all the others got it wrong. But it's it's
one up for Alphabet then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a turn up because Gemini is usually the one that gets things badly wrong. But they've got a new version as well, which we got in there. Yeah, because previously when I had the last Grok, people were creating. It was during the American election, and it was a sort of Donald and Kamala sort of walking arm in arm and things like that, and her being pregnant and things, There was, and him smiling, holding her pregnant belly. I thought,
My mind is agog at what's going on in America at the moment.
Extraordinary, isn't it? Absolutely
I actually
extraordinary.
wonder when the US military are going to go enough, and do something about it, because they swear allegiance to the Constitution, not to the president. So is he doing anything unconstitutional yet?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I don't think Trump getting Kamala pregnant would be a good idea.
So thinking about Grok though, and Musk obviously in X, do we know who Grok has been developed by, or
XAI, which is owned by
it is X,
which is owned by
Elon Musk. Yeah.
So it is, when you've got individual people having quite a lot of power, obviously you're relying on being working for the good of society and not normally they're working for their own enrichment or for that. By the time you get to Musk's stage, he's trying to become the world's first. He's either working to become the world's first trillionaire, or which he might well do, or he's working. It's all about ego, It's all about being loved and admired, and I'm sure that's part of it as well, So that's why he's a Microsoft guy. He's given away most of his money, hasn't he? So
Bill Gates, yeah.
But there's the danger with that, of course, is when these people who are generally the good guys give their money away, they've then not got as much power to fight against the ones who are dominating.
That's right. Yeah. Because if Microsoft are trying to win this battle with quantum computing, it's they're going to need. They've still got deep pockets. I mean, he's given away half his person. I mean, Microsoft company itself is still, I guess, must be worth the same.
Does anybody listen to The Rest is Politics by any chance? It's Alistair Campbell and Rory Stewart, but they were talking about the wealthy and those that pledge lots and lots, and all billionaires, of their money or to charities or some righteous cause, but they never part with it. They just hang on to it. So it's just it's a pledge, but it's never realized.
No.
And they reckon a lot of that is because if you give away a lot of your wealth, then your prestige goes down. So you're not always invited to Washington or the best parties and so forth, and your influence deteriorates, which is
well, I mentioned before about I can't remember his name, a German industrialist. He started off with nothing but the 2 billion he inherited from his father, and he had steelworks in America, in Germany, and he built his wealth up to 20 billion pounds worth of wealth. 2008 happened, big crash, lots of things happened, and he made some bad decisions, and he was back down to 9 billion, right? Now, you and I could probably, with simple middle class taste, we'd probably think, well, I can get by on 9 billion, but he killed himself.
Oh gosh.
Because he was down to his last 9 billion.
Jeez.
You could have given
I
it to
mean,
me.
Yeah.
I'd have spent it wisely.
And, he'd have felt better too.
No.
There's a lesson to all of us. This is why we don't be millionaires. We just don't want to lose ourselves.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you're
right.
really grounded
Yeah.
when you got fuck all.
Yeah.
It's, well, relatively, yeah, good. And the whilst I was looking at Grok, I saw this other post come up, and it was like it just said, "Holy shit, it's happening!" So I thought, "Hello, what's happening?" So I clicked on it, and it was about something called Evo 2.
Oh yeah, I've played with that.
Yeah, yeah. It's Evo 2. A, it's an AI thing. I think it's sort of NVIDIA have got a lot to do with it. It's the largest AI model for biology, trained on 9.3 trillion DNA base pairs, spanning the entire tree of life. It doesn't just analyze genomes, it creates them. That they've fed into it the human genome and hundreds of thousands of other like sort of bacteria and things. And this thing apparently can design new life. It's got the potential to identify disease-causing mutations and generate synthetic genomes and transform biotechnology. And it was identifying mutations. They've already done it with breast cancer with 90% accuracy. But obviously there are biosecurity risks. Could it create a biogenic weapon, for instance, or bioweapons? And the sort of unintended consequences, it makes us sort of an unpredictable mutated bacteria, and then it says, "Oops, where's it gone?" It's happened before, as we said yesterday. So it's
Quite recently as well.
quite recently, 2019, or possibly before. And there's ethical dilemmas as well over it, because you could design a baby, basically, and have it exact. If you know what
Become the
genomes,
eugenics
exactly what
war.
they do, you can do anything you like, and so it's and there's and there could be errors in genetic predictions which could cause issues as well. So that was I think that's a little bit more scary, because if you start designing people or even animal, you could create an animal that eats us. We've got too much of these ferns growing here. Let's just design something that eats these ferns, and maybe then we
Yeah,
well after.
that's one of the premises of the Tomorrow War, isn't it? That they had a biological weapon, which was the white spikes, and they were just voracious monsters that just killed and ate everything. And then when they killed and ate every living creature, they killed and ate themselves until there
Oh,
was no more
wow.
white spikes left, and then the aliens would just move into the planet.
Oh, far out. That sounds brilliant. What, is that a book or a?
No, it's a film on Amazon Prime called The Tomorrow War.
Ooh,
It's
my
an
kind of
amazing
film.
story. Basically, this spaceship crash lands on Earth about 1,000 years ago, and global warming, because it landed under a glacier or a glacier grew over it, but global warming sort of woke them all up, and they dug up, and then they started taking over the planet. They were never meant to come here. It's just a spaceship crash landed, and they were cargo. They were going somewhere else and then we got down to about 500,000 people left on the planet, and it's all about trying to kill them. And it's an amazing film. It's absolutely an amazing film. Well worth
Mm.
watching.
I've never heard of it.
It's got Star-Lord in it, from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
He's the main character in it. It's not Star-Lord, he's just playing a character. It's the
Yeah.
actor. And it's got, and I do know her name, Yvonne Strahan, from a TV series I used to love called Chuck.
Mm.
It's on Amazon Prime, called The Tomorrow War.
Mm.
Well worth the Friday night watch.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's Friday. Brilliant.
Get a takeaway, watch a good film. There you go.
Yeah. I started watching that other one yesterday, Devs. I watched the
Yeah.
episode
Do you like
yesterday.
it?
Yeah.
Do you
I
like
watched the
it?
first episode yesterday.
What is it?
Devs,
Yeah.
it's called. It's on Disney.
Oh, oh,
You have to subscribe to Disney if you want to watch Devs and
Orville.
or the Orville, yeah.
yeah.
And you need Paramount to watch all the Star Treks.
Yeah. You can. Though a lot of them are on Netflix as well, so aren't they? But they're higher quality on Paramount. Unless it's just my subscription. I mean, I use ChatGPT a lot still. I mean, that's my main go-to, and they've got a search. They've got a plugin for Chrome that works as a search engine, and I was using Perplexity, and then some things I didn't like about it, but ChatGPT has been really good so far because it will give you the link to the website that you're asking for, but like you can just paste in a phone number. If somebody rings me, like the rest of us, 90% of it is somebody spamming, trying to tell me I've got to pay tax or I've got to do something or other. I was involved in an accident, but you just key in the number into ChatGPT and it will instantly tell you what that number is and where it's from and everything. So
Really?
it's all pretty good. And Sam Altman, who's the Elon Musk of ChatGPT, not quite as rich.
OpenAI, yeah.
Yeah, OpenAI guy. He's acknowledged that I guess it's to do with Trump and everything else that's going on in America, but he's acknowledged that OpenAI systems have a left-wing bias and that they're working to fix it. It has removed some of the warnings in terms of service violations, and it will now have a conversation with you rather than saying, no, if you believe that, you're a right-wing scumbag. I'm not going to talk about it. So
Apparently, I read
now
somewhere
it's
that
now it's going to
ChatGPT
reason,
go on.
yes. Sorry, Sophie, go on.
I read somewhere that ChatGPT 5 is being prepared.
Right, yeah.
Apparently, it's going to blow our socks off.
Yeah, that's right. ChatGPT is improving. I've noticed an improvement in it, in the
Oh,
results
the
I'm getting.
writing now. I use 4.0 Mini for my blog posts,
Yeah.
and the writing is brilliant. So I can just drop a URL into your PCM's AI and say, write a blog post about that using a friendly tone and Myers-Briggs int J, and it does it, and it's perfect, and it's got all the facts and figures right now.
Yeah. And it does
Pretty
live
cool.
searches as well on
Yeah.
like we were saying about the other one. It actually goes off to the web and gets current information as well if it doesn't know the answers properly. And I think it's improved a lot even in the last few weeks. So obviously they're tweaking it even though the model numbers are the same. But they've got lots of different models there. I've been using it. I normally mess around. I've been jumping. I didn't have a subscription, and I've just been jumping from one to another till it says, "Hey, you've run out of free stuff. Go somewhere else." And it's. But I do have a ChatGPT subscription because I found it's.
Yeah, I do too. I've been using Notebook LM more though. That's been interesting.
Yeah.
Because when you're looking for content to post on LinkedIn and create your own content out of, I found that's really useful for just when you get newsletters or you see things and just say, right, stick that across to Notebook LM and then just ask it to summarize the stuff there in line with what your customers want to hear about.
Mm.
And that's quite good for just curating that stuff. So I very rarely read a newsletter anymore. I just sort of get them and just click a button to get it to go over to that.
Yeah.
Sorry, what tool what model are you using for that, Andy?
It's a separate thing. It's a Google thing. Notebook LM. It's
Oh
free.
yeah, well, you mentioned that. Notebook LM,
Yeah,
Free.
very good for crunching lots of data together and coming out with things on a theme.
Yeah.
Well,
It's free.
I'm gonna have to run off shortly because I have an appointment at
That's okay.
11.
I'll
But
take it
I just gave Grok my smell test, which is asking a specific chemistry question, and it gave me a brilliant answer. So it's not too bad.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Good. Excellent. And the other thing about ChatGPT before we go is that I've been using it for key phrases for websites. So I just key in a website and say, give me the key phrases, the 10 best key phrases for this page, and it's been doing a pretty good job and it never used to before. It used to do shit job.
Well, that's on
Pardon my
ChatGPT.
French.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it did a really reasonable job of what one I keyed in yesterday. I've only done one, but I mean, I could see that it was giving me better results than it did before. So that's it. Good. Thanks for coming along today. It's been fun. I'm gonna stop the recording.